You've probably seen the reviews, swatches of the new Makeup by Mario Nature palette compared to his Ethereal Eyes palette. And everyone's asking the same thing. What happened to the sparkle? Did Mario change the formula? You know, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna test them side by side on the eyes under various lighting. We're gonna figure out what's different and if the sparkle we loved is still there. Because the original Ethereal Eyes, the one that came out 3 years ago, it wasn't just another neutral palette. I think for a lot of us, it became one of our top favorite go-to palettes. Those sparkly toppers were that little bit of magic. They had this glossy, wet look shimmer that caught light like glass almost, scattering these tiny sparkles across the lids. It wasn't about heavy pigment. It was that soft veil of twinkle that looked almost like dew. That's what got us. But Ethereal Eyes is gone, and that's where nature comes in. So on paper, it's the next chapter in the Ethereal Eyes story. Same format, 12 pans, same layout, but visually it shifts from airy toppers to richer, more grounded shimmers and that striking golden olive shade. So the question isn't whether it's a copy of Ethereal Eyes, because it's not. The real question is whether this evolution from sparkly toppers to richer metallics still captures that same magic, or is it going in a whole new direction? For this next look, we're using the green shade. So I'm just putting some concealer on my eyelids. I'm not gonna set it with powder because I do want some of that tackiness so that it grips to the green eyeshadow, and I'm using the Natasha Denona concealer. My base is messed up under my eyes because I just finished removing one of the looks. Okay, so I'm starting with the golden olive shade. This green color is the one that seems to define this palette. Let's see what it looks like. Normally, I start off a look with a transition shade and then defining the crease, but here I just wanted to start with the green to see exactly what it looks like by itself. Now I'll take some of this matte warm beige, rougher 27, transition shade. To ground the green, I'm going to use some of this brown in the outer corner. This will make the green pop even more. With this same brown, I'm going to go on the lower lash line, rougher 26. Then with the darkest matte, rougher 01, I'll add more depth. Let's reinforce the green. For eyeliner, I have this green one from Sephora collection in the shade Matte Moss. I've been meaning to look at other shades because it's really good. Let's tight line with it as well. As a final touch, I want to use this shade right here, which I don't think I've used yet. Adds some bronziness and sparkle. Oh, I like it. Let's add it maybe here. Finally, this sparkly soft, what is it, champagne on the inner corner. And here is the final look. I am going to show it to you in different lighting because just by seeing the swatches under just one light source, that doesn't give you the full picture. Because notice here, yes, the green pops, but now look here how sparkly my eyes are. Here I'm not in front of a window. I am under interior light, artificial light. For the second look, I want to show the bronze side of this palette. This is where it starts leaning more warm. Let's start with this matte warm beige as the transition all over the crease. This is a Refer 27. Then I'm going to take this shimmering golden bronze all across the lid. I'm using my fingers. So just pressing this shade. Now I'm taking this metallic bronze burgundy on the outer lid here. Oh, I guess I could have used a brush. Let me switch to a brush because I'm also going to put it on the crease. Sigma E54. And again, just layering it out here, the outer corner, and bringing it all through the crease. Blending out the edges with the previous brush. I'm taking more of the shimmering gold bronze and I'm going to place it on the inner part of the eye. For the inner corner, I'm taking this shimmery light color. I'm going to go back to that burgundy and run it across the lash line. Actually, I do want a little bit more depth, so I'm taking this, the darkest matte brown. Bringing that same dark matte here for a little bit more depth. And finally, the shimmering bronze again on the inner half of the lash line. I'm gonna line using his eyeliner in the Perfect Brown. Okay, I totally forgot that this eyeliner doesn't do any, it's like it doesn't draw on me. It's so annoying. I've tried it multiple times. It's freshly sharpened and it just does not draw. So let me get my Victoria Beckham in Cocoa. This looks really good. So this is the bronzy look, all done. What do you guys think? I think it's dimensional, it's bold, it has a very sophisticated sheen. Yeah, I'm seeing that refined sheen that I think it's gonna define the palette. Wow, it is really pretty. I'm liking it more than I thought I would. One of the biggest questions floating around right now is, did Mario change the formula? Because if you've seen the swatches, the new palette looks smoother. I found a comment from Mario over on Instagram confirming that he did not change the formula. So if the formula didn't change, how come it's looking more toned down, a little bit less sparkly? I think it's got a lot to do with the base pigment underneath. As I'm editing the video, I just want to clarify, there's still plenty of sparkle. I mean, look at this clip. But anyway, let's confirm. Did the sparkle change? I took two shades, one from each palette, that looked the most similar. But anyway, so the formula didn't change, but visually, to the naked eye, do the sparkles, did they change from palette to palette? I picked one shade from each one that looked the most similar. Under indoor lighting, both shades behave almost identically. Same sparkle diffusion, same particle size, same shine. The only difference I see is that faint tint underneath EEN3, the one in the Nature palette. Notice that the one from Ethereal Eyes, it sits on a completely clear base, so you're seeing pure reflected sparkle. Whereas the shade from the Nature palette, notice that it has just a whisper of taupe. It slightly grounds the light, but without muting it. If you're noticing any difference in the sparkle at all, I think it's due to the transparency of the base beneath it. What we're seeing in nature, it's not less sparkle, it's sparkle over a base of color. So the sparkly magic is still there, it's just more grounded. Now that we know how the shimmer behaves, let's zoom out and talk about the mattes, because this is where people say that both palettes look almost identical. And honestly, they really do. You've got the same soft range, the warm beiges, camels, dusty rose. Depending on how you look at it, it's either a plus or a minus. If you already own Ethereal Eyes, well, you're paying again for the same matte base. But if you missed it, this is good news because you're getting the same blendable mattes that made this palette so easy to use. That continuity keeps nature feeling cohesive, but that also means that the real evolution is in the shimmers. There's something reassuring about opening a palette and know exactly how the mattes are going to behave. No surprises, no learning curve, super flattering on the eyes. But if you already own Ethereal Eyes, then that familiarity can start to feel a little too safe, especially if we want something new out of this palette. Okay, so do I think you should buy this palette? Yes, you're gonna get some sparkle, but not the same as Ethereal Eyes. The sparkle itself hasn't changed. What's changed is the backdrop. You can see it right here. Identical sparkle behavior, just anchored differently. Ethereal Eyes gives that suspended, glassy light, whereas nature lets that same sparkle interact with the color underneath. But if you missed Ethereal Eyes, nature's a great entry point. You're getting that same sparkle experience plus a wider range of bases. You have, and I'm looking at the swatches here, you have translucent, you have like a taupe tinted one, and that golden olive hybrid sparkle plus metallic shade, it gives it a lot of personality. Let's talk versatility. For daily wear, nature's versatility, it's there. You can keep things soft and sheer, or you can go full foil if you want drama. Whereas Ethereal Eyes stayed in one mood, dreamy, airy, kind of bridal, while nature can go subtle daylight shimmer to richer night-ready looks. So the way I see it, Ethereal Eyes was the sparkle in its purest form, sitting on these beautiful translucent bases. And nature is that same sparkle, but expanded. Perfect example is that green shade where the sparkle is woven through the pigment. Now that I think of it, after looking at these palettes for so long, Ethereal Eyes is like a single expression of sparkle, and nature gives you several, if that makes sense. Summary. Nature carries the sparkle legacy of Ethereal Eyes, but it reimagines it through richer tones and a wider range of bases. So Ethereal Eyes gave you that light floating sparkle, while nature has that same sparkle embedded within color. And it goes from sheer toppers to deep metallics. I want to know where you land. If you're on Team Sparkle, drop this emoji in the comments. Let me specify, Team Airy Sparkle, the floaty one, the one that came in Ethereal Eyes. If you're loving the concept of Ethereal Eyes, where the sparkle is embedded in these richer tones, drop this emoji in the comments. Let's see which side wins. That's it for me. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.